Hey everyone, so as you know, Apptoid is still working. The code is above. Please use it. I am going to take you through a keep makeover, another keep that is on Continent 4. So, what I am setting up is I have seen the things that need to be fixed onto this account. And so in order for us to basically build up this account, it's great to do an assessment, to do like a bullet point list, to be able to figure out what I need to spend on in order to make this account great again. Okay. So, one of the things that this keep really needs is gold, tactic scrolls, and badges, and the ruby boxes for the champions. We will go through all of that in a bit, but I'm just going to show you right now how Apptoid still works. Now, if you still can't get the Apptoid to work and you have watched my video and you've joined the Apptoid Discord and did the step-by-step instructions, feel free to reach out to me, Baby Bear Sings. You can hit me up in DM. And honestly, 98% of the people who had issues did not follow one little portion of a step, and that's why they couldn't do it. So I'm telling you guys, it works, and you have to make sure you load up your APK first. You have to get into that game first before you do the Apptoid update. That is probably the most key takeaway that I can tell you guys, and then turning off auto enable update. So any other questions, just go to the Apptoid Discord and invite your friends, troubleshoot there. So I'm making an assessment on what this keep is desperately needing first. And the number one thing that I found on this keep is the duty generals. As you see, none of them say super, okay? But all of them have the ability to be super, all right? So there's so many untapped buffs going on here. But not only that, but all of your training, all of your upgrading, all of everything. You are missing out on so much by not upgrading your duty officers. So all of these have the ability to be super because all it takes is, right, cultivation. You can increase the XP on a subsidy, and of course you can add your gear temporarily to get it to that 3.5 million. It has no reason to not have super duty officers. So that would be number one. That's the number one thing that I would do. And then the next thing I would do is upgrade the keep to 43. It looks like we're 25%, maybe 30% away from upgrading. The wall is done, which is great. So 43 to make sure you can get your MA up. And that's why I said that the gold and the tactic scrolls are going to be much needed. It looks like this account does not have a lot of tactic scrolls, which means it has to go full force on Ymir Day. As you know, with my Keep in C3, I'm not used to having to chase things because I have it so hoarded. And that is how I like to play, is I like to hoard things so I never have to chase anything. So when I go to 43, I'm already ready to max out that MA level. I like to play like that. But when you are trying to go into another keep and fix it up, you're going to have to assess, the positives and negatives and the pros and cons and that kind of stuff. So let's go to the next thing that I would update. So this is one of my favorite ones on my C3 keep. So this one has gotten a lot of neglect on the seal beast. So it doesn't have a lot of seal beasts on it. So the first thing that I can do is obviously I can open up the bull. The bull is actually, the event is going on right now. So we can open up that. But also, the Chimera really needs to be upgraded, right? Because the Chimera has been completely neglected, and that is the one that has the best defense boost on it. So I really highly suggest upgrading that one before you start upgrading all the other ones. And I know how people like to do their little buffs on whatever, but globally, I would rather have these major defense boosts so that I don't have to catch it up somewhere else, right? So the trying to get the bull is, luckily enough, we have that event going on right now. And luckily enough, we have enough of the little scales. However, we do not have enough XP, and we have to have enough XP to get it to level 10 in order to upgrade the seals, right? So it does get very hard when I'm comparing keeps, but I think it is important to go into detail and assess because ultimately the alliance, the team, the server, that all matters, right? That all is important in the game, but your keep is going to be where you're living. And so you have to be happy with where you're at, and you have to be able to think that you have a plan of how to develop it. So looking at budget, like looking at the alliance card, I would get that. This has a lot of gems that I would actually save those until the next skin opens up, right? Like making sure to have a plan for the keep to make sure that you can, number one, afford the upkeep of it, but number two, how much do you want to re-spend on things, right? That's where it gets a little daunting to be like, I got to do this, gold tree again, right? I did the gold tree already and I got like 53 billion gold on my other keep. This one, only 20, so I'm going to have to do this event again. So there's just going to be a lot of events that I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to get a lot of the blazon chests, right? Because a lot of those blazons now are at 15. So I got to max it again to 20, and we know how that can be with blazons. It takes freaking forever. But again, if there is a spend plan, if I'm spending the same as I was on the other server, it probably can catch up pretty fast, right? So that's just the things that you have to assess. So this next one is a little painful again because the champions don't have all the skins and we have like a level 1. So it's okay. I understand the thought process behind it, especially since they maxed out the art treasures, okay? So I can understand the give and take there. But I do think that going back after maxing Josephine, I think I wouldn't go here because the next one is monsters, and I think their monster team, they have 4 monster ralliers, so I think we're good there. But I would want to take this one up, especially to get that revival troop power, because this is a server that does play SVS, and I really want to play SVS, so I definitely would want to upgrade that champion for sure. So let's open up some optional chests. So opening up the chests here is going to be different than what I do in C3 because there's going to be different needs there. And when it comes to the RSS, I will have to assess based on what we need the most, right? So you can see here the ore and stone. We're going to need a lot more of that than food and wood. So it's best to just pick one of them, right, to get the most out of it instead of trying to pick the all resources because it's going to take longer. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose the ore and then ruby boxes, blazon chests, right? Even though on my other server, I would do the dragons because I'm maxed on the blazons, right? And the runestones will be the same. Tactic scrolls, I would normally not pick tactic scrolls on the other server, and the badges. Now, badges and crystals I kind of go back and forth on, but for this keep, definitely need the badges, and you're going to see why. So the first thing I would do here is I would take that Abyss set and put it on a Siege General for offense for a Siege 11, and then you have the big Siege, right? So I want to have 2 different sieges because one can be used to reinforce while the other one is joining rallies, and sometimes we're putting up 2 rallies. Like, it's always good to have 2 siege generals, 2 archer generals, 2 ground generals. So that's what I would do there. The Augustus set here is beautiful. That's what I have on my other keep. And then do you see how these are all the Archimedidae gears? All right, so this keep did not do the Parthian, and that was one of my biggest things is to do all Parthian sets so you can get the debuffs, right? So I will need the badges in order for me to upgrade every single subgeneral, minus the one with the Augustus, to Parthian gear. I don't think I need to be sophisticated on this continent right now to do all of the siege HP debuffs with the civ gears and stuff because quite frankly, so far, all the battles that I've been in, I have not gotten rallied. So it is not as important as it is on C3, right? Like where I need to make sure that my defense is legit or else I cannot even stay in a battlefield, right? Because that is how monster the rallies are on C3. But in C4, we're still kind of looking at 65 million rallies, right? So that's one of the benefits of going to a newer continent is the competition is not as steep as C3. So I will miss my red subs though. I will say that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and more content to come.